Policies that we have at Ernst & Young around non-discrimination and anti-harassment extend to just about every category you can possibly imagine, from sexual orientation, gender identity expression, disabilities, veteran status, marital status, because the overall hope is that none of those things are going to keep you from getting an opportunity. And the hard part then is getting people to understand what resources are available, again, to them when issues come up or when they have questions even. Because there are resources that are both confidential, that they can access through our assistance program, EY Assist, as well as through the human resources function. But often they have to go ask for them. They have to raise their hand and ask for them. But overall, how do they get assistance in those things? It's asking. No, because the cost, I mean, originally that was a question that came up a lot, is what are the problems with the costs associated? And in most cases, the costs aren't all that great when you look at the overall productivity increases that someone has. And here again, we get back to a lot of language issues, and it's knowing what to ask for, knowing how to ask. Very often asking a person with a disability, in what ways is your disability impairing your work right now, or could be, or what assistance could we provide so that it could enhance your work experience, is just the question you need to ask. And sometimes those are temporary disabilities, and sometimes they're long-term disabilities. And then breaking down how to encourage them to reach out for those services and then get them when they need them. That becomes the bigger issue more than the cost. We raise the awareness through many different systems, and we have what we call it the Daily Connection. It's a daily newsletter that goes out, and often it'll highlight people who've had special needs come up and they've requested them and had them met. Something as simple as I mentioned earlier, the walkthrough. We did a walkthrough through Sears Tower with someone in a wheelchair, and it was a person who wasn't normally in a wheelchair who went through and just got to see it from their own perspective as to what it felt like to go up to the reception desk and realize that they couldn't see over the reception desk. And it's some of those things like that we are trying to do that are proactive to then help clean up some of the barriers that we might be creating inadvertently. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but it's trying to be proactive in ways that we haven't been proactive before, where some of it you think is just general accommodation, that we should be trying to make it as open and barrier-free as possible. The stuff that they wouldn't cover is something that you fraudulently tried to hide. But I can't even think of an example of that at this point, because when someone comes in new, there are no pre-existing condition clauses when someone starts off new. So it's really a matter of, have you used up the benefit, the more I'm thinking about it. There are very few things that we just don't cover, but I don't know that they're necessarily considered disability-related issues. It's more like infertility, cosmetic surgery, and there's some other exclusion-type things like that are just the more expensive benefits that are, I shouldn't even say infertility, it's new reproductive practices. It's not infertility. It's some of the things that are untested and unproven.